morning, everyone, and welcome to Fox 5 on Fox Local. I'm Alex Whitler. It's great to be here with you this Friday afternoon. We have made it through yet another work week. Thank you so much for your time. I want to let you know that we are streaming in a variety of ways, so welcome to you, those of you who are watching on fox5atlanta.com or the free Fox Local app. You are joining us live from our 24/7 newsroom. We are also streaming on our Fox 5 Atlanta YouTube channel. So we have a whole slew of stories this hour that we would love you to participate in. I call this a news conversation and less of a newscast because you can play an integral role in it. So if you're interested, head on over to our Fox 5 Atlanta YouTube channel and leave us a comment about any of the stories that you're going to see here over the next hour. That said, our top story is a very serious one that has plastered the headlines since Wednesday. We just learned not even an hour ago that authorities have identified Charlie Kirk's suspected shooter as a 22-year-old from Utah. His name is Tyler Robinson. They laid out a whole bunch of information in a news conference not long ago, explaining that it took them just over 33 hours to find this suspect. They say that was record-breaking time. They also laid out a whole bunch of information ranging from the rifle, how it was wrapped in a towel. They talked about some of the inscriptions on the bullets, and we were there listening to it all. So here's an opportunity for us to catch you up. Listen to this.
We have on the suspect, the possible shooter is taken from closed circuit TV here on campus. We do have that. We're analyzing it, but it is security camera footage, so you can kind of guess what the quality of that.
Sounds like we're having some technical difficulties there, but I do have a lot of that information in my own notes. Let's walk you through what authorities said. I mentioned that towel that the shooter had wrapped this up in. That is where we want to pick up. Let's see if we're able to gather that press conference again. They'll have better details.
In charge, Robert Bowles, and local and federal law enforcement partners. Following the remarks today, Governor Cox, Director Patel, and Commissioner Mason will take questions. Thank you.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We got him. On the evening of September 11th, a family member of Tyler Robinson reached out to a family friend who contacted the Washington County Sheriff's Office with.
At today's press conference, we will hear from Governor Cox, FBI Director Kash Patel. At today's press conference, we will hear from Governor Cox, FBI Director Kash Patel, and Sheriff Mike Smith. We also have with us Utah DPS Commissioner Bo Mason, Lieutenant Governor Deidre Henderson, FBI Special Agent in Charge Robert Bowles, and local and federal law enforcement partners. Following the remarks today, Governor Cox, Director Patel, and Commissioner Mason will take questions. Thank you.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We got him. On the evening of September 11th, a family member of Tyler Robinson reached out to a family friend who contacted the Washington County Sheriff's Office with information that Robinson had confessed to them or implied that he had committed the incident. This information was relayed to the Utah County Sheriff's Office and scene investigators at Utah Valley University. This information was also conveyed to the FBI. Investigators reviewed additional video footage from UVU surveillance and identified Robinson arriving on UVU campus in a gray Dodge Challenger at approximately 8:29 a.m. on September 10th, in which he is observed on video in a plain maroon t-shirt, light-colored shorts, a black hat with a white logo, and light-colored shoes. When encountered in person by investigators in Washington County on September 12th in the early morning hours, Robinson was observed in consistent clothing with those surveillance images. Investigators interviewed a family member of Robinson who stated that Robinson had become more political in recent years. The family member referenced a recent incident in which Robinson came to dinner prior to September 10th, and in the conversation with another family member, Robinson mentioned Charlie Kirk was coming to UVU. They talked about why they didn't like him and the viewpoints that he had. The family member also stated Kirk was full of hate and spreading hate. The family member also confirmed Robinson had a gray Dodge Challenger. Investigators identified an individual as the roommate of Robinson. Investigators interviewed that roommate, who stated that his roommate, referring to Robinson, made a joke on Discord. Investigators asked if he would show them the messages on Discord. He opened it and showed several messages to investigators and allowed investigators to take photos of the screen as each message was shown by Robinson's roommate. These photos consisted of various messages, including content of messages between the phone contact named Tyler with an emoji icon and Robinson's roommate's device. The content of these messages included messages affiliated with the contact Tyler, stating a need to retrieve a rifle from a drop point, leaving the rifle in a bush, messages related to visually watching the area where a rifle was left, and a message referring to having left the rifle wrapped in a towel. The messages also refer to engraving bullets and a mention of a scope and the rifle being unique. Messages from the contact Tyler also mentioned that he had changed outfits. I know there has been speculation as well as to the writing on those casings, those bullet casings, and I believe we have that as well. And I will share that with you now. So the area north of Campus Drive Road where the suspect crossed over, you saw some of that in the video that we released last night, consists of a grassy area with trees on the edge of the UVU campus. Investigators discovered a bolt-action rifle wrapped in a dark-colored towel. The rifle was determined to be a Mauser Model 98 30-06 caliber bolt-action rifle. The rifle had a scope mounted on top of it. Investigators noted inscriptions that had been engraved on casings found with the rifle. Inscriptions on a fired casing read, "Notices, bulges, capital OWO, what's this, question mark." Inscriptions on the 3 unfired casings read, "Hey fascist, exclamation point, catch, exclamation point." Up arrow symbol, right arrow and symbol, and 3 down arrow symbols. A second unfired casing read, "Oh Bella Chow, Bella Chow, Bella Chow, Chow Chow." And a third unfired casing read, "If you read this, you are gay, LMAO." We are indebted to law enforcement across the state who's worked seamlessly together, local law enforcement, state law enforcement, and our federal partners with the Federal Bureau of Investigation. We're grateful for everyone who worked together in such a short amount of time to find this person and to bring justice. I want to thank the public who has been so engaged, reviewing videos, helping us with sending in tips, and helping us get to this point. I want to thank the family members of Tyler Robinson who did the right thing in this case and were able to bring him into to law enforcement as well. I especially want to thank the family of Charlie Kirk, Erica, Charlie's parents, his children. I want us to be thinking of them as we bring justice in this case. They will be involved in that justice. We will be working very closely with them as we move through this process as well. This is a very sad day for our country, a terrible day for the state of Utah. But I'm grateful that at this moment we have an opportunity to bring closure to this very dark chapter in our nation's history. With that, I will now turn the microphone over to the Director of the FBI, Kash Patel.
Thank you, Governor. This is what happens when you let good cops be cops. The FBI and our partners are proud to stand here today together to bring justice to the family of Charlie Kirk and honor his memory. I want to express my deep gratitude to President Trump, the Vice President, and the entire White House who have been so incredibly supportive with both resources and just personally to the FBI as a team. They had our backs the entire way, and I just want to express my gratitude for giving us the resources we need to operate in this space to bring this sort of justice at this sort of speed. In 33 hours, we have made historic progress for Charlie. Governor Cox, our partnership has been absolutely incredible these last few days. Our partnership will endure. Your state and local partners, your sheriffs, your DPS community has been unbelievably impressive in the hardest of times. And a case like this cannot be solved, cannot be brought without partnering with your state and local authorities. The FBI has a certain role to play, and we will play that role, and we will lead out for the federal government. But Governor Cox, we are so grateful for your state partnership that led out on this investigation. A little bit of the timeline. Charlie was shot at 12:23 p.m. on Wednesday. The first FBI agents arrived on scene in 16 minutes with chiefs of police at 12:39 and secured the scene. The FBI immediately launched fixed-wing assets. We utilized these assets to transport personnel, specialty technicians, hostage rescue teams. We also utilized these assets to go back and forth from the East Coast and here in Utah to transport forensic evidence and other evidence that will be analyzed and is being analyzed at our FBI laboratories in Quantico and other laboratories, including the ATF. At my direction, the FBI released the first set of FBI photos of the suspect at 10 a.m. local time on 9/11. Then, shortly thereafter, the FBI reward of $100,000 was released at 10:45 a.m. local. Myself and Deputy Director Bongino arrived on the scene at approximately 5:30 p.m. on 9/11. The governor led a press conference last night at approximately 8 p.m., where at my direction, the FBI released a never-before-seen video of the suspect. We also released new images to the public of the suspect. And just last night, the suspect was taken into custody at 10 p.m. local time. In less than 36 hours, 33 to be precise, thanks to the full weight of the federal government and leading out with the partners here in the state of Utah and Governor Cox, the suspect was apprehended in a historic time period. And I want to highlight what Governor Cox said. This would not have been possible without you, the media, and you, the public. That's why we went so public, so fast, and we're so transparent, and we're committed to that transparency. The crime scene, just a little bit there. It is a large crime scene. State and local authorities, along with federal authorities, processed that crime scene quickly. And I even had the ability to walk through that crime scene and walk through the steps the suspect took to learn more about what was needed and what resources we needed to bear to create a full picture for the FBI and leadership back in Washington. Furthermore, thankfully to state and local partners, forensic evidence has been seized and continues to be garnered. Forensic evidence has already been evaluated at FBI laboratories in Quantico and state and local authorities here. We will continue to process evidence as we see it, as we collect it, and we will continue to deliver to Governor Cox and his team. Last night, we had a total of approximately 7,000 leads. As of this morning, thanks to your great work, we have over 11,000 leads that were called in to the FBI. And we are running out every single lead that we can. Every one of those leads will be run out. The arrest is a testament to the dedication of good law enforcement being great and partnerships in law enforcement, which I've tried to highlight as my tenure as the director of the FBI. There is no better relationship for law enforcement than the FBI to partner with state and local authorities, and you've seen it here in these last few days. The FBI Salt Lake Field Office, along with our offices in LA, Phoenix, Denver, San Antonio, Las Vegas, Pittsburgh, Buffalo, our headquarters component in Quantico, all participate in the FBI. I want to express my deep gratitude to the employees of the FBI, the men and women, the evidence response team tacticians, the special operators, the agents, the support staff. You have done monumental work in historic time when the public who had a right to demand such an expeditious solving of an investigation. The FBI answered that call diligently, critically important to our nation, and we delivered. And I'm proud to be their leader, and I'm proud to be the director of the FBI. This is a very much an ongoing investigation, as the governor said, and we will continue to work with state and local authorities to develop the investigation, to provide them the evidence they need for their ongoing prosecutions, and we will be here to answer every call they absolutely have, as long as it takes, for as long as we need to find and apprehend whatever suspects were involved in this crime. Lastly, to my friend Charlie Kirk, rest now, brother. We have the watch, and I'll see you in Valhalla.
Thank you, and good morning. I would just like to take a few minutes as the sheriff to express my gratitude for everybody who has played a part in this investigation. As you know, it's been a vast, a complicated, and a very, very fast-paced investigation. You're looking at people standing up here who are running on, if they got an hour's sleep in the last couple of days, they're probably lucky. It has been very taxing. It has been so impressive, speaking on behalf of the local law enforcement, to see the cooperation that we've seen in this type of case. Across the state, sheriffs, chiefs, our state partners have stepped up and have come to the call on anything that we needed. Our county chiefs have been phenomenal. Our Utah County Attorney, Jeff Gray, who's standing up here with us, has been phenomenal in leading us through this investigation. I would like to thank the federal government for their resources, their assets. Our local team here, our FBI team, has been extraordinary in helping us work through this and bring this person to justice. Most of all, I would like to thank the public, and specifically, I would like to thank the public who turned to prayers and who turned to positiveness for us. I would like to thank them on behalf of the law enforcement community, because we needed those prayers. That's what we needed to get through this. We needed your support, and you gave it to us. We needed your patience, and you gave it to us. And I would like to thank you for the Kirk family, because that's what they need, is your support and your prayers, and that will get us through all of this. So thank you, everybody, for everybody that have stepped up. We've had such a phenomenal response to this. Thank you.
I also want to give a special thanks to the Attorney General and the Department of Justice. Their unwavering support and their commitment to justice is shown true here. And without AG Bondi and Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche and the resources they brought to bear, we would not have been able to complete our mission. And I just want to say special thanks. It's an honor to be a part of the Department of Justice.
Thank you again to our incredible law enforcement team who has worked so hard. Sheriff, I got a solid 90 minutes last night, so I'm probably the most well-rested person up here. Ladies and gentlemen, I get the microphone, so I hope you'll permit me a moment just to share a few more thoughts about where we are and how we got here, and maybe a little bit of where we go from here. I don't want to get too preachy, but I think it's important that we, with eyes wide open, understand what's happening in our country today. I've heard people say, well, why are we so invested in this? There's violence happening all across our country, and violence is tragic everywhere, and every life taken is a child of God who deserves our love and respect and dignity. This is certainly about the tragic death, political assassination of Charlie Kirk. But it is also much bigger than an attack on an individual. It is an attack on all of us. It is an attack on the American experiment. It is an attack on our ideals. This cuts to the very foundation of who we are, of who we have been, and who we could be in better times. Political violence is different than any other type of violence for lots of different reasons. One, because in the very act that Charlie championed of expression, that freedom of expression that is enshrined in our founding documents, in having his life taken in that very act, makes it more difficult for people to feel like they can share their ideas, that they can speak freely. We will never be able to solve all the other problems, including the violence problems that people are worried about, if we can't have a clash of ideas safely and securely. Even, especially those ideas with which you disagree. That's why this matters so much. Over the last 48 hours, I have been as angry as I have ever been, as sad as I have ever been. And it was, as anger pushed me to the brink, it was actually Charlie's words that pulled me back. I'd like to share some of those. And specifically right now, if I could, I need to talk to the young people in our state, in my state, and all across the country. As President Trump reminded me, he said, you know who really loved Charlie? The youths. And he's right. Young people loved Charlie, and young people hated Charlie. And Charlie went into those places anyway. And these are the words that have helped me. Charlie said, when people stop talking, that's when you get violence. He said, the weak can never forgive. Forgiveness is the attribute of the strong. The only way out of the labyrinth of suffering is to forgive. Welcome without judgment, love without condition, forgive without limit. He said, always forgive your enemies. Nothing annoys them so much. A few months ago, I referenced this last night, Charlie posted to social media, when things are moving very fast and people are losing their minds, it's important to stay grounded. Turn off your phone, read scripture, spend time with friends, and remember, internet fury is not real life. It's going to be okay. He again said, when you stop having a human connection with someone you disagree with, it becomes a lot easier to commit violence. He said, what we as a culture have to get back to is being able to have a reasonable agreement, where violence is not an option. Now, again, to my young friends out there, you are inheriting a country where politics feels like rage. It feels like rage is the only option. But through those words, we have a reminder that we can choose a different path.
That was Utah Governor
Your
Spencer
generation
Cox
has an
talking
opportunity
about the
to
now
build a culture that's
identified
very
and
different.
suspected Charlie Kirk shooter, 22-year-old Tyler Robinson. He's from Utah. The governor himself went on to say he prayed that the suspect would not be from his state. He said, unfortunately, they have now learned that he is. We're going to have much more on this timeline leading up to how authorities found Charlie Kirk's suspected shooter. And we're also going to acknowledge that political violence is something that has been increasing all throughout our country for the past couple of years, not just on one side, but on the other as well. Stay with us because we have a lot more to discuss this hour on Fox 5, on Fox Local, including a whole bunch of car break-ins in Metro Atlanta, this time in Dunwoody. Lindsay Tuman will join us live with details on that right after this. Welcome back to Fox 5 on Fox Local. I'm Alex Whitler. Thank you so much for joining us for our 11 a.m. streaming news conversation. I call it that because right now we're not only streaming on Fox Local, the free app for your smartphones and streaming devices, but we're also streaming on fox5atlanta.com and our YouTube channel. That's what makes this a conversation. So if you're interested, you see a story that you're especially passionate about, leave us a comment there. Ask a question. We're a 24/7 working newsroom. We can ask those questions for you in real time to try to get some answers. That said, we're talking about something that has plagued Metro Atlanta for as long as I've been working here, car break-ins, this time dozens of them. We're talking about 50 taking place in the Dunwoody area. Fox 5's Lindsay Tuman has been on top of this story for us all morning. Lindsay, you can't do anything but shake your head at this. These car break-in stories just keep popping up over and over again. What have you learned?
Yeah, certainly a big issue, and one that 50 people were dealing with this morning here at the Perimeter Center Bell Apartments, which is right by Perimeter Mall. Police tell me that at around 4:30 this morning, they were notified about the break-ins, came out here to find just about 50 vehicles all smashed in. And according to police, they had the windows broken into, then someone rummaged through those vehicles. According to officers, even though there were a large number of vehicles that were broken into and damaged, only a few items were reported stolen. Two of the main things that they're looking into being 2 firearms that were reported stolen, as well as a stun gun. So certainly those are things that officers are looking into. And we were here as Dunwoody police were searching through the scene for several hours. They were out here until after 10 o'clock this morning, continuing to process that scene. You could imagine that it was pretty big, seeing as it was 50 different vehicles that they had to document and go through. I spoke with some folks out here this morning. I even had to break the news to one of those residents who unfortunately didn't realize that her car had been broken into until she went back in after we spoke, saw that it had been one of the vehicles that was targeted, and then she had to then get on the phone with her insurance company and deal with that. And something that she mentioned to me was that they stole a bottle of her perfume but left money there. So kind of random seeming as to what exactly was taken out of these vehicles. I spoke with another gentleman who told me that he had 4 of his vehicles broken into. He was pretty shocked to find that this morning, and also wasn't quite sure what to make out of who might have been targeting these vehicles and what they might have been going after, if we want to listen to what he had to say.
I came in, I was just like, okay, looks like they was looking for money or anything like that, or computers. But I was kind of a little bit shocked. But then I started speaking with the cops because that was already like 5 different patrols, and they just told me that they hit pretty much around 25 cars, second floor and first floor.
Wow.
So that's basically that's what happened. Well, not really. I'm not really keeping any guns in the car. So that's one of the things that I heard about the police, that they also trying to looking for guns and stuff like that.
Yeah, certainly going to be a big priority for police, tracking down those weapons. But at this time, they say they do not have any suspect details, no information about who might have been behind this or how many people might have been involved. As soon as we get that information, of course, we'll keep you updated. But for now, that's the very latest live in Dunwoody. I'm Lindsay Tuman. Back to you.
Yeah, whenever we have these large numbers, 50 cars broken into, 80 cars broken into, it just makes you shake your head. Lindsay, thank you. We appreciate it. We want to transition now and get a sense of what the weather is going to do, not just today, but for the rest of the weekend. So joining me now is Fox 5 Storm Team meteorologist Jonathan Stacy. I'm going to scoot over. I'm going to try to give you some room here. I know I'm, hogging the floor. Come on over, Jonathan.
A little bit too. We have all these fancy computers up here.
Yeah.
And I like how we kind of just do things all the time. So.
I know. Attempt at being real with you. So there we go. Come on, Jonathan. Slide over. Grab a chair. Boom. There we go. It looks good.
Pull up a chair. Pull up a chair.
and take a seat. Okay, let's get into it. So I heard you say that we're done with the rain for the next week or so. Have you already looked far enough ahead to figure out when we might get another chance of rain?
I'm trying. So we have these things. We have two types of modeling, and we call them short range and long range.
Okay.
Short range get you about 72 hours in. Long range, of course, 120 hours to 200 plus hours. So that would obviously be what is at the latter part of your 7-day forecast, and I can't find it.
Okay.
I've been looking all over,
Yeah.
and so there does not appear to be a grand shift in the pattern. Basically, what's happening here, are you all familiar with the Greek alphabet?
Yeah, alpha,
Okay.
beta, gamma, delta, epsilon, zeta.
know
You want me to keep
something about
going?
that. If you can go all the way to omega, you
Okay.
would get to my point a little bit, but it would take a little bit of time. Nonetheless, you know what an omega looks like.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
So that is an actual term that we use to describe a blocking pattern in weather.
Okay.
And so the United States right now has an omega blocking pattern over it. So that means that nothing is moving. So whatever air mass abides where you are,
Get used to it.
get used to it. It's locked in place.
Okay.
And so we're in that omega block, thankfully, because we could be on the other end of it like they are in the Rockies, and they're
What are they
getting
dealing with?
scores of rain.
Ah.
Yeah, so in fact, let me play around here
Okay.
with my handy dandy computers and see. It may be kind of harder for me to show this to you all. So,
But we're
let me
listening.
scroll down. So yeah, basically you have a lot of rain out there, and here, rain. Can you find it?
No.
It hasn't rained since last Saturday, and I don't think it's going to rain anytime soon. So we're, once again, just to reiterate that, we're on the good side of the blocking pattern, meaning that high pressure is in our neck of the woods, and it's going to be like that for quite some time. And so we'll take you out to the airport now. I think we got a live look. Yeah, this should pop up at any second here. Well, maybe not. You've seen the
That's okay.
sunshine.
Yeah.
You can go outside and
Yeah, stick your
embrace
head
it. Yeah.
out, enjoy the window.
So we're looking for something to talk about, but there is finally something in the tropics that we could possibly
Okay.
be watching over the next.
What do you think that is?
It has a 40% chance of development over the next 7 days. But here's the deal. It curves up to the north before it really gets close to us. So that's good news,
Okay.
because we don't want any tropical weather pestering any land masses. But curious enough, interesting enough, I should say, when it comes to tropical weather, we talk about we don't want them in terms of their most potent characteristics. We
Right.
don't want
The
storm
deadly
surge.
weather.
Yeah, exactly. It's a lot over like one period of time, concentrated over one area. It's like the storm kind of has its sights on someone and it just picks on an area.
Right.
But when it comes to tropical systems, we actually need them because it not only helps with the balances, but it also helps us get a decent amount of rain during the fall. Because these patterns typically set up, these blocking patterns are common during the fall. And so cold fronts can't make it all the way south. So how are we going to get some rain? Well, we're not hot enough during the day or humid enough to get those convective pop-up thunderstorms. So how are we going to get some rain? We have no fronts, we have no humidity to get those afternoon thunderstorms. Okay, so what can we get during this part of the year?
Yeah.
Tropical systems.
Okay.
And so that's why we kind of sometimes benefit. It's a nice look out, just a beautiful day. I'll be there in a couple hours.
Where are you going?
I'm going somewhere.
That's okay. You don't have to tell all of our
I'm
business.
going somewhere.
Yeah, Jonathan does a really good job of traveling, and I live vicariously through you. I try to get out as much as I can, but that airport shot that we show you guys so often is because it's a good tell, not just of what the weather is doing, but if it's going to impact your flight.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
we know the later in the day, the more dicey the weather can become. But if you have flights out, I always like to take the weather variable out. There can be ground delays and ground stops for other reasons, but the weather variable is out the picture.
Yeah.
But if you are going out west this weekend, you'll want to check on things because they're getting a lot of rain.
Okay.
I'm not seeing it stopping anytime soon. So if we get something tropical, hopefully it does not have a large wind field. Therefore, it's not bringing us damaging wind and a lot of heavy rain that's pushing and shoving things around and storm surge. But if we were to get something that we call a decaying tropical system,
Okay.
that would bring us a healthy dose of rain. And because that's not in the picture, no afternoon pop-up thunderstorms, no fronts moving through, where are we going to find the water?
I'm okay with it. I recognize, and I've said this to you the past 2 or 3 times I've seen you, that we need that rain for our crops. But Jonathan, we can check back a little bit later and see if anything has changed.
I'm gonna do something off the cusp. Hey, Cal Cunningham. Cal? Yeah. When was the drought with Lake Lanier and all that stuff? When did that happen?
I told you this was a 24/7 newsroom, you guys.
2007, 2008.
Were
Okay,
you all able to hear him? You can
so
relay.
it was 2007, 2008. You'll remember everything that happened with the lakes in the area, but specifically Lake Lanier. So therefore, when we talk about not having rainfall, I think a lot of longtime North Georgians,
They get very concerned.
Yeah. It
Rightfully
kinda,
so.
You harken back
yeah.
to those, and there were a couple of years that were really challenging. So lake levels, which is something we'll start diving into next week. We'll have to look closely at those because if you get 2-3 weeks without significant rainfall, you can only do so much. The Army Corps of Engineers can only do so much with the dams, and that not only goes for Lake Lanier, which just happens to be where we get our water at here in Atlanta, but as you go out to Lake Country, Sinclair, Oconee, Allatoona, not so much, but still, these are significant bodies of water that actually
Are
help us.
utilized.
Yeah, we need them here. So we'll be looking very closely at those levels as we continue to deal with what is probably a bit of a drought that's starting to develop.
Well, we appreciate your time, Jonathan. It's always fun to have you. I do want to just reiterate for those of you who are just now joining us, you're looking at Fox 5 on Fox Local, so a very different vibe. You saw Jonathan was able to quite literally yell out over the other side of this camera
We have a
to
veteran
speak
news
to
manager
some members
here,
of our
and I
team.
knew he would know. Like he's very, very, very smart.
Yeah, he's giving us a thumbs up. Thank you, Cal. We appreciate you.
But I know a lot of people remember that, and that's why no rain for too long really makes Georgians kind of cagey.
And we try to respect that. Thank you for your time,
All right,
Jonathan.
thank
We
you.
appreciate it. All right, you guys, we still have a lot to talk about, and I want to get a sense of if we're able to continue this conversation now with Billy Heath. You know that this is a big deal about housing affordability. He is going to be talking about some new affordable housing in our area. So I'm going to go ahead and do a pulse check with our producer. Do we have Billy Heath on standby? Are we ready to rock and roll with him? Great. Billy, how are things where you are? The shot looks beautiful behind you.
It's a beautiful day. Good morning, Alex.
Hey.
And it's a very happy day here in the East Lake community. They are opening these, they're having a grand reopening, is what I should say, for these housing units. There's 149 units for folks over the age of 55, and they are going to do a ribbon cutting. So a lot of local leaders are here. It's a lot of good vibes going around. Everybody's very proud of what's been accomplished here by several people. I did shoot some drone video. I'm not sure if we have that. Do we have that drone video that I could show you of these units?
Yeah, we're looking at it right now. It looks great.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, it's a really beautiful place here for people to call home. I spoke with the president of Columbia Realty, and she just said, this was all hands on deck. There were a lot of people who played a role in this coming to fruition. So if we could listen to her real quick.
I don't think we have her interview, Billy, but that's okay. Can you relay
well, no
what
problem
she
at all.
said?
I mean, what she said was, yes, of course, Alex. So what Carmen told me was that there's so many leaders in this community whose focal point is housing and affordable housing. And Mayor Dickens was one of the first speakers here today, and he said this is a focal point of my administration, and I am so happy to be here today to be part of this ribbon cutting. This building just got, as buildings do, things started falling apart. This is a legacy building in this community, but things were falling apart. So they had to revitalize the building, and it's really given these folks who are going to live here a beautiful place to call home.
Yeah, Billy, I know that affordable housing is a huge topic in the city of Atlanta. I often just do a call out on social media asking people, hey, what are some of the stories that you guys would be interested in, right? To get that conversation going, like what we can have here. And one of the first things I always hear is affordable housing. There was a time that you could actually get a 2-bedroom home in Atlanta for $1,000 a month. And it does feel like those days are just a thing of the past. So did you get any indication about how much rent would be there?
That's one of the questions I'll ask, and I have another report coming up, and I'll talk to the leaders here, and I'll get a sense of what that cost would be. I know that they're really drilling down on affordability, And of course, the people who will be living here, seniors, 55 plus, a lot of those folks have fixed income. So affordability is key to them, and I think they're making that happen, here today and for the future of these residents.
Yeah, it's paramount. Billy Heath, we appreciate your time. Thank you for being there. I look forward to touching base with you a bit later to figure out what the price range could be. Thanks again. All right, everyone. Well, that said, we're transitioning, not just talking about affordable housing, but how about this? Affordable groceries. That's something that affects all of us. So if you stay with us for Fox 5 here on Fox Local, you'll hear us talking about this new opportunity for families to get even more affordable groceries. Stick around. Three. Welcome back to Fox 5 on Fox Local. I'm Alex Whitler. It's great to be here with you all. We have covered quite a bit of news this morning. If you've been tuned in with us, you know we've talked about updates in Charlie Kirk's suspected shooter. He's been found. We've talked about affordable housing, and now we are talking about groceries. An organization based out of Atlanta is focused on ending food waste and hunger. So for that, we're going to figure out what they're up to lately. I remember covering a story about a Gooder food truck. Well, now we're going to tune in with Fox 5 photographer Chris Rosenthal, who is there now with what looks like a very busy event. Good to see you, Chris.
Yeah, it has been a very busy event. They've been out here since about 10 o'clock this morning, going from 10 till noon, handing out food to people, about 200 families in need of food. To combat food insecurity, here's an interesting statistic, is that about 12% of Gwinnett County residents are food insecure, which means that they just don't have, access to good food or the means to get it. So I'm going to flip my camera around here and kind of show you what they're doing here. They're dropping the food off with the long line of cars we've seen all morning. We got everything from milk here, juice. We got volunteers here from also Atlanta Gaslight have helped out and helped sponsor this event. We've got some bread and plenty of vegetables, plenty of produce, and I'm joined here with Dean from Atlanta Gaslight. Dean, tell me about this event. Tell me why you guys got involved in this.
All right, hey, I'm Dean Mariano, I'm with Atlanta Gaslight, and look, we just love what Gooder is doing. Their mission statement talks about how food scarcity is not the issue, logistics is. So they've been partnering with corporations such as ourselves and looking for food surpluses that's everywhere and logistically putting it together so we can come out here and deliver it like we're doing today to the community that we serve. So it's really an awesome event to be able to do that. But we've been doing this, what, for 5 years now, and we've done quite a few of these events together, and we love it. Today, we're going to be giving out 200 households a week's worth of quality groceries that's going to make a difference for these folks. So really, really proud of doing that. You know, and Atlanta Gaslight's been around for 170 years in the state, and this is who we are. So we love doing this, love partnering, and we want to just thank Gooder for allowing us to be a partnership with them.
And this is Mitch from Gooder. And Mitch, tell me a little bit about, food insecurity. Tell me about what a problem that is, here in Georgia and Gwinnett County. And what is food insecurity exactly?
Of course, yeah. So food insecurity is when a family is having to make decisions based upon whether or not they're going to purchase groceries that month or spend that money a different way. And we've seen that statistically about 14.9% of families in Georgia are going to experience food insecurity this year. That's 1 in 5 children, 1 in 10 seniors. So we know the need for food in these communities are incredible. And that's why we're so thankful for organizations like Atlanta Gaslight who partner with us. This organization knows the community that they serve in very well. They're able to help us prescribe the time, the need, and really get to know these communities in a way that other organizations may not. So we're able to serve these communities where they need to be served, where they are today. And it's a really important partnership. We're extremely thankful.
And we're in Gwinnett today. Is Gwinnett one of the more important communities to serve?
100%. Gwinnett County just recently figured out they have over 1 million residents. And in Gwinnett County, about 30% of families under 30 are experiencing food insecurity. So we're seeing a higher rate here in Gwinnett County of younger families experiencing food insecurity. So we're looking to help alleviate that for those families today.
And these folks, they want to take advantage of a program like this. How do they get involved?
Great question. So we partnered with Gwinnett Parks and Rec for this specific event. So they blasted out email links and some QR codes. You can also follow Gooder on social media. We like to post where these events are, as well as some email blasts that went out from directly Atlanta Gaslight to their community partners for families to register for this event.
Absolutely. And this is not just about today. This is something you guys want to keep going and provide further information for people, huh?
Absolutely. Look, food insecurity is a big issue, as he described. But look, a lot of people are hurting these days, and whatever bills, inflation's so look, Atlanta Gaslight, we're a utility. We're handing out, along with all these meals, information for anybody for energy assistance. If they need it, there's a lot of different avenues people can turn to help them pay energy bills if they're struggling.
So saving a little bit of money on the energy bill can mean more money for some healthy food.
That's absolutely right.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for being out here. Yeah, this is going on till noon, so they should be wrapping up shortly. But there still are plenty of cars that have been showing up all morning to come check this out and get their food delivery.
Looks like it's the gorgeous day for an event like this. It looks like everyone is in just the right mood for it, and we really appreciate you taking us there. I feel like I'm there with you, the way you're angling all of these shots. We appreciate your time.
Sure, thank you.
Yeah, we'll see you next time, Chris. Okay, we'll stick around because we have something spooky to talk about. Stay with Fox 5 on Fox Local. We're talking about Fright Fest at Six Flags over Georgia, and I have a feeling you're going to like what Paul Milliken has to say about it. Stay tuned. welcome back. Whether you're into ghouls and goblins, Jigsaw and Annabelle, or maybe you just like a pumpkin and maybe you like it spiced and in a latte, there is something for you at Six Flags over Georgia because they are getting prepared for Fright Fest. We sent Paul Milliken up there. Didn't have to do that. He was going to go up there on his own. Let's see how things are going for him now.
Hey, okay, so if you were watching Good Day Atlanta at 10 a.m., you know I bit into this giant piece of chicken. My life has changed. My life has changed. It's a better life. The world looks different. I'm happier now, all because of this chicken that is so good. This is one of the items you can get during Oktoberfest here at Six Flags over Georgia. As you know, this is the season to visit. There are 3 different celebrations happening. Fright Fest is happening at night, and that's where my amazing jacket comes in, by the way. There's a brand new haunted maze based on the Conjuring universe. And then during the day, there's Kids Boo Fest and, of course, Oktoberfest. And I know my good friend, Executive Chef Priscilla, had so much fun designing the Oktoberfest menu. Was this a blast?
It really was. It's my favorite time of the year.
It is my favorite time. You dress up for Halloween too, right?
I do.
I love that.
A lot of effort.
All right, so I'm coming back sometime soon. You and I are dressing up together. We'll go trick-or-treating through the park, okay?
Let's do that.
I love it. All right, speaking of tricks and treats, let's go straight to the treats right now. What is happening at the end of this table?
At the end of this table, this is the October Twist, our large pretzel that comes with beer cheese.
Yeah, it is so beautiful. And I feel like when you have an Oktoberfest celebration, you got to have a big pretzel,
You
right?
got to have a big pretzel.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, next up, I see a lot of sauerkraut here and some sort of concoction that I can tell I'm going to love. What is that?
It's our German nachos. So yes, you have kettle chips, kielbasa, sauerkraut, horseradish sauce. It's full of flavor.
Yes.
It gives German.
Amazing. Next up, you'll notice there's an empty space right here. It's because I ate a little bit of what we're about to talk about. This was so good. I thought there was to whatever was in that sandwich, there was actually kind of a nice little tangy and sweetness to it.
Yes, it's our kielbasa, and then we grill it, and we had our peppers and onions on top.
Oh, so good. Okay, next up, look, I don't even need you to talk about the chicken because I can talk about the chicken because I am holding the chicken right now. It is so juicy. It is so tender. And that seasoning, Priscilla.
I know. It's our German seasoning on our Bavarian Hindle chicken and the same seasoning on the potato wedges.
It is so good. And you said before, if I forced you to choose something to eat on this table, you're going for the chicken.
I'm going for the chicken.
Yeah.
I love chicken, and it's seasoned so good.
And it's so fun to walk around just holding this too.
Just walk around, hold it.
It's your little meat snack over here. Okay, what's next?
Okay, so that's more kielbasa. Right here is our German pot roast sandwich. Yes, so we roast our pot roast, and it also has the German seasoning as well, Swiss cheese on top, and crispy onions.
Oh, amazing. All right, so all of this food looks amazing. Where is this stuff available?
Oh, it's available at Oktoberfest. So y'all need to, MVP sale. Get here so you can get in and get some food.
Yeah, well, let's talk about that sale. So this is the lowest price this weekend that you're going to be able to get in for Oktoberfest and Fright Fest. And then does it also include like all of next season?
Yes, all next season.
Amazing. So go to the website and get it. And look, I'm not going to let you leave without talking about dessert.
Okay, let's go talk.
Let's do it, because here's the thing. I've been seeing on social media people talking about like Dubai chocolate. I don't know what that means, but I know you've done a play off of it, right?
Yes, we did, but ours is given scary, so we call it Dubai chocolate, Dubai brownie. So you have the fudgy brownie, the katafi mixed with the pistachio butter, and then we made it a little scary with our eyeballs and our spiders.
Of course you did.
Yes, and then if you want to pair that with a drink, non-alcoholic or alcoholic, we have our blood bags that I'm super excited about.
I love those blood bags. They are so cool. Okay, if you would do me a favor, if you would just hold this right here. Can I try a little bit of this chocolate right now? Okay, because my hands are a little full in case you can't tell. So I got chicken in one hand, a brownie in the other. This is the happiest I've ever been in my life.
Think you're
I just want you to know. I think I am too.
You like it?
That is insane. That I didn't expect like the nice crunch to it. Oh, that is so good.
Thank you.
Priscilla, can I come back tomorrow?
I'm gonna see, because you've been eating a lot.
You know what? How dare you? All right, we're gonna wrap this segment like that. Again, now is the time to visit. We got Fright Fest, we got Kids Boo Fest, we got Oktoberfest at Six Flags over Georgia.
Making me hungry twice in one morning. Thanks for that. And thank you so much for spending some time with us here for Fox 5 on Fox Local. We are live streaming every weekday at 11 a.m. I hope to see you next week.